Yeah.
And then you're sharing this van build. You're this van build that, man, I was like, oh my crap. Oh, he's building a van. I want to build a van for over a year now. How's that going? How's that going?
Well, my battery just died over here, but that kind of took a little bit of a pause
Okay.
because we had a couple plans to do it. Pretty much the goal that we started building it was because there's Renegade Riot in, I think it's the Gold Panther Campground, British Columbia this year. Essentially, it's the Eastern Canada up in just west of Calgary, Alberta. And I wanted to go for the last 2.5 years, where the first year was like, that looks cool. I'm going to try to go, but not really. And then the second year was like, oh, I want to go. I went to Born Free, but then I couldn't get enough vacation time. And I was like, oh, let's go to Born Free because I met a bunch of people last year. That was awesome. I'll go again. And then this year it's like, adios, Born Free. I need to think about you. And I was like, well, it'd be cool if I could just drive my van. I mean, obviously the goal for everyone's like, I just want to ride countless miles, bro. But that's a whole lot of distance. And if I can roll the bike in the van, I can crush 1,500 miles in a day, maybe even 2,000 just, and then I don't have to worry about game in the middle of the night, or if it starts raining, and I can go farther, even though it won't be as dope of an experience, you know?
Quotes, dope of an experience. It's like some people are like, if you trailer the bike, it doesn't count. It's like, whatever.
You're still getting it. Yeah, that's the end result. And that's why I really want to go. So that way I'm fresh over there. And the plan is to go up there and check out one spot and then go through there, stay in Calgary for a day and so forth, and then ride the bike everywhere else. So that way I have fresh body. I can enjoy it 100% because I still have to go back. And that was the main reason why I started building it. Was I did the floor so it looks cool. And then I need to do a wheel chock that's going to have, I think it's L tracks. That way it's just kind of like airliner stuff. It's really neat. So when the bike's not in there, it still looks like a pretty good van. Do windows and everything. But it took a hold for a bit because my Mac, it's just so old and it's getting so slow when it comes to video editing, just extremely annoying. But it's still going strong. I still love it, but it's got some nuances. And I decided I balled out in this camera. Might as well ball out a new computer. And I got a little carried away, but this should be an animal. It should just handle whatever.
Yeah, so many similarities, man. I started on a MacBook Pro, 2012 MacBook Pro, and I was editing everything. And once again, it's just like you. It started crapping out on me. It was slower than it should have been. So I built, just like you, built a computer. I got a computer right here. And then, dude, you have to. You absolutely have to.
Yeah.
You got to reinvest in it. But I'm super interested in that van, man, because I've been wanting one. Yours looks nice. I love the flooring.
That's the hardest part. Thanks, dude. Is trying to figure out which direction you want to go. That was probably, I want to say 2 months, but let's be realistic. It's probably like 5 months of just me countlessly watching YouTube videos and all these van life. And my thing is that I didn't want the longest because I live in the city and I wanted to be able to commute and at least back up in normal parking space instead of parking, let's say, at the very end and I get mugged on the way in. And that way it's just easier. Because I used to drive an old body style Ford. I mean, this was maybe not even that long, but it was a long 8-foot bed. It was double cab or whatever it is. And it was just a pain in the nuts to just back that thing up, move, parking. It's like, I don't want that. I mean, it looked cool, but practicality, and that's why I went the medium roof. I could have just gone high roof because a lot of the places I thought I wouldn't fit in, I still don't even fit in with the medium roof. I mean, I can still go drive-throughs, which is important. I get my coffee, good to go. But that was the hardest part, was learning to figure out what outfitment or whatever I can put in the van and still make it motorcycle oriented. If it was camper van, it would be easy just because you just need a couch, you need this. But with the vans, everything is modular. There's some amazing builds out there, and trying to adapt them to how I would see it for the motorcycles was the key component.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing I'm running into is I'm looking for something motorcycle specific. It's always like mountain biking. There's always these mountain biking vans, and then dirt bikes. Yeah, and they're a lot smaller. There's huge difference when it comes to your Harley and then my Indian. The biggest thing that I'm having trouble with is that it's also got to kind of be a family van. I mean, I got 2 kids, so I got to have a back seat. But then I'm also thinking, well, if I pick up their friends, I want a third row. But then how do I do the third row with a motorcycle, enough room, all this other stuff, and it's just
throw on the bike with a seatbelt.
Yeah, that will work. It definitely should. It better work. But
the pricing is so expensive. Yeah, like everything in the van world, dude.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I'm finding out. I might just get a truck. I might just do a truck and then just call it a day on that. and get a trailer if I feel like it. But dude, that's really cool. I'm so glad that you're doing the van thing. I think that's really unique. Are you planning on doing like because you're saying traveling? So do you want to do like you want to photograph or record? I guess what's the technical term for photography? Is it record or take pictures? I don't want to say take pictures.
Either one. You can say take snap photos. I mean, it's all the same. If you think about it. Record with your film, or I mean, record with your crop sensor. But that's the ultimate goal is, I think it would be so amazing. There's so many people that do it already, is to be able to ride for a living, kind of go to these events and just record the experiences that other people may not be able to go. Yeah. I remember there was this company that reached out to me. There was an event that was going on in Florida, the first one they were ever doing. They're like, hey, can you share this for us? We'd love if you could make it out for us. And it's like, money was really tight. I didn't have the schedule. I was like, if I go, it would be for a plane ticket and it's say $600. Like, that's just way too much. But if you can pay for at least the ticket out, I'll stay there and whatever and do all that, find out on my own. And they were kind of like, well, we can't really do that because of budgeting. I was like, I understand that, but it was worth a shot. And where that would be amazing if that was it. I would take the van, drive everywhere, do all this. And if I could get paid for that, I think that'd be amazing. There's been a couple opportunities where I had opportunity again, I hate double wording, but where a company reached out and said, hey, we'd love to bring you on. But I just signed a lease for my apartment and I wasn't able to, where it's like, one of the stipulations would be if you could cover me breaking my lease and then everything else should be easy. Like, well, we can't do that. And then the pay wasn't conducive to where I'm at now. And it's like, okay, it's just not going to work out. I'd love to do it, but I kind of feel like I'd be going backwards and just run like everywhere just to make ends meet. And then I wouldn't want to do that to the company or myself, but I felt like it would just want to be a positive experience for both.
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely have to find
the right time. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to find what works for you. And I think a lot of people, when they see the YouTube videos, it's like a lot of work goes into it and a lot of money. Like, especially when you first start, you have to spend a ton. You just bought this nice camera, you got this badass computer just so you can make free content for others. So right now the best way definitely is to get somebody that will actually pay for you to go to these places and document it. But I see where you're coming from, because at the end of the day, you want to share these experiences just based off what you said about the gender reveal and the wedding. So you're not doing it for the money. So I think that's great. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. It just has to work for you. If I could make
it a living, and be able to do this as a reward, I think that'd be amazing. But it's cool because let's say this weekend I got last minute notice of Memphis Shades needing help with the show. It's a city 2 hours away up here in Dallas. And I was like, I'm off those days. Let's do it. Where my days off, where I could be spending time recording and doing something. It's like, they've been a solid company. There's certain companies in the motorcycle industry where, they're just great customer service and they have amazing product. And I'd love to support those type of companies to where they're not paying me for it. And it's like, cool, I'm more than happy to help because you're in a bind or whatever, you need someone to help. I'm up, let's do it. And it's going to be rewarding enough, just kind of where you're laying down your stones and putting a good foot forward to where eventually it's going to come back tenfold. I think it's just, you get what you put out into the universe. And this is one of those moments where 2020 is starting off. This is good vibes already out.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, dude. 2020's been crazy. 2020 has been pretty good, at least for me.
It feels like July. It's so long already.
Yeah, but you got your plans, man. You have plans in your head. You got. I know how it feels developing the business and everything. I got a business now for the DanDanTheFireman channel and all that stuff.
I saw that. I saw the end. It was like LLC. I was like,
You have to. You absolutely have to.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
I saw that and I was like, and when you're talking about sole proprietorship versus this and this, I'm like, I went through the same process.
Especially nowadays, dude.
Yeah. You gotta be careful. Everything. You gotta be careful. You really do.
I'm just gonna introduce myself as that. Hey, I'm Connor LLC. That way, they just even if I'm not, they're like, he's covered. He's covered.
He's covered. Yeah, man. Because the last thing I want is somebody to try something that I'm doing and then find a lawyer that will sue me. And now it takes money from it takes money from my family. That's my biggest worry. And to go back to where you were talking about, the sponsorships and me breaking the lease and all that stuff, you do have to take care of yourself. You really do. Yeah. And I'm trying to find different ways to take care of myself so that it takes care of my family. So I do have to do this for money. This is my job. I absolutely enjoy loving it and background of firefighting to serve others. This is how I'm doing it. So.
Yeah. At first, I thought it was because you started doing that. Was it the MSF course?
Yeah. Yeah. So
and that's why I thought you incorporated LLC. It was like, oh, that makes sense because you're an instructor, and then if they can't do it through the MSF, they'll go for the instructor themselves. But now that you said that, that's 100% true. I never thought about that.
Yeah. So I think I started it 6 months before I became an MSF rider coach. But yeah, dude, I got a business account. So, I mean, that's all they can go for, you know.
Yeah,
but
that's what I need to do.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you're having a business. I mean, shoot. I mean, if somebody doesn't like your photos, so, you know, they can.
Dude, there was actually something about that. That's what got me started thinking about LLC. Was I was listening to this amazing podcast, and I'm not even a fan of podcasts. There's certain ones I'll listen to, and that's maybe an episode. I listened to this dude back to back when I was going to Colorado, episode, and then he was with this lady, and it was just that when you can, if it's viable, do LLC, because there was this time with this wedding photographer, they hired this guy, they saw all his books, he took their photos. When they got it, that wife was just extremely irate and just upset that this wasn't what she had envisioned. And they took him to court. They tried to sue him for so much money, which is, I think it was 5 times his rate or what he charged them. Thankfully, the judge said, nah, fam, this is, unfounded, no grounds. But I was like, oh, bro, this is what I'm into now.
It's adulting, man. You're an adult now with me.
I hate it. Over it.
You kind of mentioned your age a little bit by saying when you're on MySpace. I mean, I don't think a lot of people that watch a lot of this stuff knows what MySpace is. I know.
Oh, my glory days, dude. Hair like this.
Changing up the background, hyperlinking everything, having music, your favorite song.
Dude.
See, I know.
I missed that.
You can't do that now. You can't do that nowadays. Oh, man.